as it goes without being said, you should always wash these things during the wintertime, as I've said in the previous videos. I took this, got it washed, so all the salt is off the vehicle. Thank the Lord. It looks a lot better. So I kind of wanted to make this video. I see a lot of discussion. It's kind of like a trend thing, I guess, going on currently. How reliable are Overland builds? When you kind of like, you start modding a vehicle, it's for coming from the Mustang world, when you start modding something like that, you're kind of taking away from the reliability or how it drives stock after you get it tuned, add some, like long tube headers, exhaust, even if like you add like a blower kit or something like that. People tend to complain to their tuner, it doesn't drive stock. It doesn't, the drivability just isn't there. It's because you're doing a lot of stuff to the vehicle. So it made me kind of want to like make a video, I guess, talking about the reliability of driving an Overland build. Obviously, this isn't really much of an Overland vehicle. I mean, it's considered that. I think the entire kit that I have on the vehicle would be perfect for an Overland setup. That's kind of how I gauge the vehicle, but let's be honest, I don't take this thing really off-road whatsoever. It always mainly stays pretty clean like this, and that's just, how I want it to be. So when you're talking about reliability on something like this, we're kind of going away from, we're not going to add the random supercharger. I think it's like a Magnuson or Eaton supercharger that they have for the TRDs for this whole kit right here for the 3.4 or this platform. The reliability is the great thing about these vehicles, a truck or a 4Runner like this, especially in the Toyota world. The reliability is already there. That's why a lot of people buy Toyotas, because number one, I think the top thing honestly would be reliability for Toyota. I believe that's what they're known for. When you ask somebody, just a normal person, hey, what do you think of, when you think of Toyota, what do you think of? Or why did you buy the Toyota? Great fuel economy and reliability. So this thing obviously is not great on fuel economy, but the reliability in the engine and transmission are there. The overall vehicle, now every platform has its issues. We've gone over that plenty of times, from the lower ball joints to the radiator setup on this. But as long as you kind of take care of those things, you don't really have much to worry about. So when you're kind of going the reliability route with this, I would definitely upgrade the radiator. I would replace the lower ball joints with OE parts. So I would stick to as much as you can to the OE market for a 4Runner, because you're going to basically just kind of secure yourself, at least the thought in my mind, that you're going to have, the functionality of OE parts. And Toyota really does make some great OE parts, even if it's corrected after a little bit of the platform itself. I think the tail end of this 3rd gen platform, they started to definitely correct a lot of the problems that were going on with the vehicle, such as this. But reliability, like doing a lift kit, it's hard to it's hard to gauge where you want, the lift kit. There's lift kits out there that are, not as expensive as the Dobinson's kit that I went with. They're going to be a little cheaper. They're going to ride rougher. They're not going to handle as well. The comfortability is not going to be there. But when you're going to lift a vehicle, you're kind of taking away that, comfortability anyways. So that's one thing you're going to eliminate. But the more money you spend, usually, you gauge the idea is, hey, I'm going to spend more money, the product is going to be a lot better. That's always not the case. When you're lifting one of these, in my mind, you want to lift it 3 inches max, 2.5 to 3. I believe that looks good. It's kind of the running, I guess, saying around like the 4Runner community that I've seen. So this is, just my opinion based. When I was looking to lift this, I wanted to do it a little taller, but everybody kept saying no, like 3 inches max. They pointed me to the right direction, either the Old Man Emu or the Dobinson's kit. I went with the Dobinson's. JBA control arms, and it's just a perfect ride height. It doesn't really take away from the vehicle. It takes away from the fuel economy a little bit, but that's, you're going to get that when you lift a vehicle anyways. So I would kind of stick to around 2.5 to 3 inches when you lift a vehicle if you're doing an Overland build, but you still want to make it a daily driver. Looks good, gets the job done, 0 complaints. If you're going to do the suspension, I went with a core 4x4. So I went the whole route from the track bar to the pan hard bar kit to correct that differential to recenter it, and that's what I would do. So if you want a comfortable daily driver that isn't swaying everywhere, stiffens up the ass end a little bit for the trail arms or rear control arms, whatever you want to call it, allows the vehicle to definitely like take full advantage of having the lift kit. And when you take it off road, overlanding, camping, or something like that, you know, you're gonna be able to take full advantage of hitting a trail and probably not having an issue as other people would if they cheaped out with cheap parts or just didn't replace it and still had the factory track bars on there. But also, when you do something like that, you're kind of going through like replacing a lot of the bushings and stuff. So that's something always, you know, I would expect. So an older vehicle, you definitely want to take care of the maintenance and things like that. So that's something that I would go ahead and do while you're replacing, you know, if you're lifting it, replacing parts and stuff. So basically it's just like the maintenance, but make sure you choose your lift kit correctly. I wouldn't cheap out. So if you want a good daily driver that's comfortable, at least spend a little more money. I know in the tail end, like pay once, cry once, but it'll pay off in the end, because some people just buy that part because they want the vehicle to be done already, or they want it to look, you know, a certain way. And then they're like, you know, I'll save the rest of the money. Well, just why not just save the money that you have and then add to it and then do it? So it's just like, you know, building the perfect Overland daily driver. It can be done. I think I've done a really good job at that with a parts list, and then kind of just having somebody guide me on what the best route was. So like even the skid plates and stuff, upgrading the skid plates, it protects the vehicle from, you know, on the Overland, but it also, you know, maintains the vehicle, keeping it clean underneath, you know. That way I was able to see if there's any rust spots or something like that while I was installing those skid plates underneath the vehicle. Was able to see if there's any oil leaks or anything, because these things are a little famous for valve cover gasket leaks. So as long as you kind of just maintain, like I said, 2.5 to 3 inch lift kit, I think you'd be really good for just having a really good Overland build, looking like a, you know, looking good and being that nice daily driver. So that's the only thing that I can really think of, you know, maintaining the comfortability and the reliability of a vehicle. You're already getting that with something like this. Again, it's an older platform of vehicle. It's not the biggest vehicle. The seats are not the most comfortable, but they're pretty damn comfortable in my opinion, like a 7 out of 10. And just maintaining everything from the suspension to the radiator with OE parts and, you know, battery, alternator, course, any leaks, take care of it. The timing, I think what timing chain or timing belt on this, I forgot. Doing that, making sure, you know, just all that stuff. And then when you go to lift this thing, don't cheap out on suspension parts. So if you want that perfect combo like I have, and just the clean ones I see around like Instagram and stuff, even around town, there's some pretty clean 4Runners. Don't cheap out on parts. I think that's the whole moral or solution of this video. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later. You have a good one.